So the guy at the motorbike shop fixed the wiring issue. I didn't have a wire hooked up for the CDI earthed out properly. I haven't had this running for about 5 years, so I was pretty excited to get this thing to run. So it actually ran surprisingly well. It was easy to drive, but after slamming it into gear, the rear axle jumped forward, so I needed to make up a chain tensioner. I used an 80x80 angle iron, drilled some holes in it, welded a nut on the back, which I can then wind a bolt into, which pulls back the rear axle. It turned out quite solid and will work out fine, so I can get the chain as tight as I want. Next I had to make a bracket to hold the exhaust, so I marked out where to put it, then drilled and tapped into the frame. I put this exhaust in the position I wanted and tacked the bracket onto it. I had these exhaust tips that I'd made up for another project and decided to put a baffle inside them because it's so loud. So I just welded a piece of flat plate onto a tube that sits inside the exhaust tip, and I can slide that inside the exhaust pipe and then just tack it in position. So I made this for both sides, and then when I got them pretty much the same, I took it off and welded it off, and I also had to fix a bunch of holes that were in there too. And then I tried another test start to see what it would sound like. So while it was running, I put it in gear just to make sure that this back wheel wasn't too buckled. So some moron had beaten that so badly with a sledgehammer that the thread was ruined and I couldn't fix it, so I had to weld this M20 bolt onto the end of there. Then I cut the head off the bolt and left a small point on the end of it so there's room for the weld to sit in. Then I tacked it in position, making sure it was pretty square with the shaft, and welded it off. And then I just screwed this nut on here so I could bang it straight with a hammer while it was still hot. The last thing I had to do for this rear axle is weld the hub to the rim. I couldn't really be bothered bolting it on there. It's easy enough just to slide the hub off and to take the wheel off. And I gave it a wire buff and a paint, but I ran out of paint. So that was about it for this video. Stay tuned if you want to see a little bit extra. Thanks for watching. Bye. This is the battery that I had in my ute. I was using it to run my trike, but it rolled off along the ground. It's sorted itself out now, so I'll have to go and buy a new battery. So I feel pretty dumb about that. But also gave me an excuse to buy this battery too. That'll fit under the seat so I can ride the trike whenever I want. And I'm thinking next episode I'll shoot this battery with this air-powered rocket launcher. Leave a comment where else you want me to shoot with it.